In the most Nintendo move ever, the Switch 2 just got confirmed over a random tweet at 3 a.m. from Nintendo's president. Yes, I know it wasn't 3 a.m. in Japan, but this is how we get confirmation of the Nintendo Switch 2, the most anticipated console maybe of all time. That's pretty crazy. But I am, of course, incredibly hyped, so I thought we could discuss this today, what it means not just for Pokémon, because, you know, I play games other than Pokémon, but for Nintendo as a whole, what it means for their future games, and what features and hardware upgrades I'm hoping to see on the Nintendo Switch 2. Now, there have been rumors of this thing coming for years now, but it was always rumors and leaks. There wasn't ever anything officially published by Nintendo until today. Furukawa, the president of Nintendo, said that an announcement about the successor to the Nintendo Switch will be coming within this fiscal year. Now, if you don't know what that means, basically each company decides when their fiscal year begins and therefore ends. So for Nintendo, it just so happens to be March, meaning we might not actually get the Switch 2 announced until March of 2025, which would line up with the announcement of the original Nintendo Switch back in March of 2015. Then again, the Switch didn't actually come out until March 2017, 2 years after its announcement. And that's already got me wondering if we might have to wait that long for this Nintendo Switch successor or Nintendo Switch 2 to come out. Like, they announce it March 2025, but it's not actually coming out until 2027. However, I don't think we're gonna have to wait that long for a few reasons that I'm gonna get into. But first, let's wrap up this original tweet here. I guess the original reason why they randomly decided to announce this is because a Nintendo Direct is coming in June regarding the Nintendo Switch software lineup for the latter half of 2024. But please be aware there will be no mention of the Nintendo Switch successor during that presentation. So I guess they're trying to get ahead of the curve, potentially preparing for any upcoming leaks of the Nintendo Switch 2 happening. Because it is kind of weird that they would announce that they're not gonna announce the Switch in this Direct. Like, no one knew. So let's begin with what this console could actually be, because they just call it the successor to Nintendo Switch, not the Nintendo Switch 2, as many fans have been calling it. Meaning it could actually be something totally different, but given the popularity of the Switch and how it literally changed the handheld gaming landscape, like the Steam Deck releasing not too long after and countless Nintendo Switch clones attempting, I forget what the saying is, like lightning in a bottle, I believe. I just can't see Nintendo straying away from it, and so I'm kind of hoping it really is just a more powerful Switch with the same features, or I guess the main features that make the Switch, you know, like it can plug into the TV easily, but you can also take it on the go. As a Pokemon fan, the number one thing I'm hoping for is just better performance. I mean, we've all seen Scarlet and Violet, right? It's always been kind of weird to me though, how other first-party Nintendo games like Mario Odyssey and Tears of the Kingdom, which is an insanely huge, ambitious open-world game, seems to run pretty smooth for the most part. So I'm not really sure if the Switch is to blame or Pokemon/Game Freak not knowing how to optimize properly, but either way, the Switch 2 needs to bring better performance for Pokemon games. But that kind of brings up a bigger question. If the Switch 2 will also be backwards compatible with regular Switch games. Considering Nintendo's track record, I would say that's pretty much guaranteed. I mean, the Switch is technically the first time a Nintendo console hasn't been directly backwards compatible. Like, obviously you can't run Wii or Wii U discs because the Switch doesn't have a disc drive. So I'm thinking they're gonna stick with the cartridges, but maybe there will be Switch 2 exclusive cartridges. Let me see if I got one. I mean, they are kind of easy to lose, but they are pretty convenient too with how small they are, and it's just a cool design compared to discs. If there is backwards compatibility, then I would love if games like Pokemon Scarlet and Violet actually run better if you play them on this new successor. I'm trying to think if like the Mario collection they did, like Mario Galaxy does look significantly better on the Switch than it did on the original Wii. So I'm hoping they can do something similar with original Switch games on the successor. I mean, if it's possible, I think everyone would be happy with that. Now, another kind of weird personal feature I would love to see on the Switch 2 is achievements. I've talked about it in a few videos before, but I am an absolute fiend for trophies/achievements. Recently on PlayStation, I've been on a grind to try to get platinum trophies on all the games that I beat before. And it's something I think Nintendo could really benefit from when it comes to adding more replayability to certain games that are on the shorter end. Plus, they have the Nintendo Online. Like, I feel that used to be the excuse, but now I don't see why not. But without a doubt, the biggest update I want to see on this new Switch is compatibility for Nintendo DS, 3DS, and maybe you can throw Wii U in there since it also had a touchscreen. But mainly the DS and 3DS have been in a very, very weird spot recently. First off, they shut down the eShop, so you can't even buy 3DS or DS games online anymore. And if you've ever tried to buy them physically or from eBay or something, you definitely know the struggle of how insanely expensive some of these games can be. A game I've been really into recently, Yokai Watch, is basically impossible to buy unless you spend a whole paycheck on. And like I just said, it's not even on the eShop anymore, so you can't digitally download it. Also, recently, Apple decided to allow emulators on their App Store again, and I've seen so many people playing specifically DS games because, you know, the phone lends itself so easily to Nintendo DS dual screen and touchscreen. I feel like Nintendo is missing out on a lot of money there, and it would be in their best interest to try and somehow port DS/3DS onto the Switch. And I even have an idea that I don't think is actually going to happen, but it wouldn't even be that hard because you can just make it so the Joy-Cons attach this way and boom, you can have the bottom screen, the touch screen right here. You know, top screen is the top screen of the DS. Look, I'm not a freaking console engineer. I'm sure they can make it look better than that, but the fact that there's such a simple way to make it work means that they definitely can come up with a way to make it so you can easily play DS, 3DS. I mean, since we're on the topic, they still need to bring all the Pokémon GBA games to Switch Online, but that is probably my biggest ask of the Switch 2. But I want to hear what you guys think of this whole announcement and what you're hoping from the Nintendo Switch successor. Do you want it to just be the Switch 2, like a better, upgraded, hardware and performance-wise version of the Nintendo Switch? Or would you rather have Nintendo come up with a totally new, innovative idea like they've done so many times in the past? I feel like the only risk with that is obviously some of their ideas have been misses, which is why I don't think they're even gonna risk it and just make a better, upgraded version of what they already got. Now, of course, I am mainly a Pokemon channel, so the biggest question for those of you guys watching right now is probably what this could mean for Legends ZA. We don't know much about the game when it comes to the gameplay yet, but we do know for sure that it is coming out on the Nintendo Switch, like the original one that we have right now. But that doesn't mean it might not also be on the Switch 2. In fact, if we go back to the launch of the original Switch, we had The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, which released simultaneously on Switch and Wii U. Now, with Legends ZA being described as an ambitious new game and Game Freak's track record not exactly being the best when it comes to performance with the recent games, I know for sure they would love to have better hardware. So I would honestly be quite shocked if Legends ZA isn't on the new Switch console, but then I guess it also depends on when this thing actually comes out, because like we saw in the original tweet, the Switch successor might not even get announced until next year, meaning it might not come out until 2 years after that, and Legends ZA is for sure coming out 2025. We just don't know what date specifically. Unlike the original Switch though, which again was like a huge leap from the Wii U and a totally new concept, if this is more similar to the original Switch, we might not have to wait as long as we did between the announcement to the release, because basically the main concept is already there. It's more about the hardware, the insides, the performance. So it could very well be that the console actually drops in March 2025, celebrating the 10-year anniversary of the Switch getting revealed, not officially out, but that would definitely mean that Legends ZA could come out simultaneously with it in March. Of course, Legends ZA would be another awesome launch title to get people to buy the new Switch. But then again, they got Gen 10 down the line anyway, so, you know. Don't forget to hit that like button if you guys enjoyed, and I'll catch you in the next video.